Hello, girls and boys. Alta Wisdom speaking. Today we are reviewing the latest update of my AutoPlay random MIDI sequencer. The version is 2.0. Not that I've completely renewed the tool, it's still the good old one that you already know, but I've added a very interesting feature following some comments that have been submitted to me, and especially that when it comes to randomness, it's usually a good thing to have random stuff happening, but usually at the end of the day, what you want is get something deterministic out of it. So it means that whatever random you have, you want to make it, to freeze it, so to say. And then it can be a bit annoying, and especially if you let the kind of tools like AutoPlay run really and you don't record, you most of the time it can happen that you will lose something which was grooving, which was interesting, because you just didn't record at that time. So in live you have the MIDI capture, which allows to recover something that has not been recording while playing. Not sure this would work with a tool which actually is doing the MIDI in your place. So I decided to add this kind of feature to be able to replay, so to say, to replay what's happening inside of AutoPlay. And I actually ended up with something which is a bit more interesting than only giving the ability to replay something that happened already, because no, we shall see. Let's start over. So what do you have here? So I have an instance of Serum. It's a basic patch with a bandpass on a soul filter, something a bit squelchy. There's a bit of modulation coming from the velocity on distortion and flanger wet level. So you see that we have a bit of distortion, the flanger, and on modulation side, I've set up the filter resonance, the drive level of the distortion, the wet level of the flanger, and the filter cutoff. So let's see what we have. So as usual, I have a one note C1, which is going to be playing, and that will feed the AutoPlay module. So let's load it up. All right. All this hasn't changed in comparison to version 1.8, which was just released a few days ago. Whoa, things fast. And so you see here the note probabilities, the lengths, all that stuff. So let's start by doing some mapping. So let's map this to the stuff we have here. So resonance, drive, we'll tweak that later, flanger wet, and for the layers, the cutoff. All right. So now let's put this. Okay, let's list how it is. Velocity, you can select stuff, lens processing as well. Let's okay, now we're good. So what is happening when I press play? Yeah, just for those who sometimes can struggle, so the Serum instance is listening. These are just armed, but you can put it in just in monitor, and it's receiving the MIDI from post mixer level out of this MIDI track. So it's receiving the notes that are generated by AutoPlay. So took a bit. Okay, let's close that up, put down being. The new stuff is happening here. We have a few new buttons and parameters that we can tweak. The first one is, let's start by this one, which is the most interesting one. This one allows to freeze the seed. If you don't know what the seed is, you have to know that any random generator is actually not a true random generator because it doesn't exist in computer. So usually any random generator starts by a given number and computes the next random pseudo-random value out of it. So here, what I'm telling AutoPlay is to freeze the current seed and to start over each time the loop here happens. So here you see the loops can be half a bar, 1 bar, 2 bars, etc. We'll see later that these are not the actual values because they can change a bit, but I'll explain why. So let's say that my seed should be, or my loop should be starting over every 2 bars. So if I'm freezing this, then I will get something which will be repetitive every 2 bars. Let's listen what it does. Not very easy to say if it's repetitive. And on top of that, what will happen sometime is that if you're asking a loop of 2 bars, then you actually get a loop of 4 bars. And why is it so? It's because sometimes you have a note which is ending at the end of the, that's overlapping at the end of the second bar on top of the beginning of the third one. So the next value is actually not computed at the exact beginning, but at the next step, so to say. So instead of having a loop of 2 bars, it will be a loop of 4 bars because it will wait for the next loop to start over. That's not a big deal, but I haven't found a way. I haven't found a way to do that, to do something better than that for the time being. Maybe later, if it's really a problem, I'll change that. So let's switch back to 1. With a bit of chance, we'll have something which is repetitive every bar. It can be even 4 bars. I mean, the loop will not start over until it's able to do so. But let's try and record that. It's actually looping every 2 bars, unless I'm mistaken. So let's see what it does. Hold it. So we see that every 2 bars, the notes are repeating exactly the same pattern. Also, the velocities are repeating. And if I'm taking, sorry, okay, not the, I can't recall the modulations, of course, because they're controlled by third-party plugin. So this is a bit annoying. There's no way to circumvent that, except while using CCs, which is what we're gonna do now. Let's say that this is the mode wheel, the second one. So we're using regular MIDI, which has the advantage of being record with the notes. I just need to map these MIDIs to my parameters. Let's say, okay, I need to activate them one at a time. So this one is the resonance. So I click, right click, and MIDI learn. I activate this. Okay, I'll deactivate it. Now this one is distortion drive. So that's this one. Let's MIDI learn it as well. The third one is the flanger wet here. And the last one is the filter cutoff there. So now I can remove these, and if I haven't done any mistake, we would still have all knobs moving. And the cutoff. Yeah, I need to reactivate them, of course. Okay, on the drive. You don't have the resonance, which was there, I think. It's annoying because you can't write down the exact parameter that you want in Serum. At least some other synths you can just write down the number that you want to be controlled. So let's try again. Okay, it's done. It's better to unmap before doing anything. So I have this one. This one was a filter drive, unless I'm mistaken. Okay, that's MIDI CC2. No, it's already mapped to MIDI CC2. So we have 2 at MIDI CC2. So let's remove and learn it again. Oh yeah, that's the mud wheel. Actually, CC1 is the mud wheel, so you don't even need to do anything more than map it in. So that's the distortion drive. FX. Check out distortion, FX distortion. Not the level, the drive. Somewhere. Distortion drive. There we go. Okay. Okay, and it's nice moving. And this one, I think it was, let's check if I've done anything already. No. So we have resonance. That's the, oh, sorry, that's the flanger level. No, it was not the flanger level. Wow, the cutoff. Yeah, MIDI CC4. The cutoff is here. Resonance is there. No, whatever. Not a big deal. Because this is one is it's already on the modulation. But let's do the chorus. I didn't do it already. No. It'll be fun. It may be a bit weird, but whatever. Well, let's so as you hear, we have a repetitive melody already. So let's record that. That's enough. So notes, as we see, they're repeating every 2 bars, sorry, every 2 bars. And if we go to the MIDI controls, we see that we have the same repetition happening every 2 bars as well. So here we found same, etc. And we have the breath control, which corresponds to CC number 2, which is repeating as well. Third control, same, and the fourth one. So we have pretty much what we want. We have recorded something which is repetitive. Now comes the interesting stuff. I'm going to be able to tweak the knobs while having this seed frozen. So it will change a bit what's happening, but not completely, not make something completely different. Sorry. The two playing at the same time. Now we have something which actually is repeating every bar. It's changing a bit, no. All this happening quite fast. Anyway, let's record that. Okay. We can check whether we have what we want. Just let's unfold so we can compare. There we go. So it can be slightly different because of MIDI and the communication latency between the device and live, but it's pretty well reproducible. This is the pattern that has been generated with the given seed. Same for the modulation envelopes. So now we can finish and check the latest parameters. So we've seen that here we can freeze the seed, so having something which will actually repeat. Here I can force even if I'm frozen, I can force to get a new seed. So I will again get something which will repeat, but with a new starting point. Let's try it. you see that we have something new. Here, what do we have? That's the interesting part, because you see that when I click on this or I unfreeze, we have this value which is changing. And it's the actual seed that is given to the plugin. So what happens? Okay, I'm not freezing, but I just heard something which was nice. I just stop and click on the history, and now the system, the device has recorded all these seeds, all the different seeds that have passed since the beginning of the session. So I know that now I'm 32803, but I can get back, say, to this one, enter it here, freeze again, so to make sure that it will not change again. And now if I press play, I'm exactly back to the previous state. Of course, if I change some knobs, I will probably get something different, but still the starting point, if the knobs are exactly the same, will be the exact same result. Let's try once more to record that. Or let's go even further. Let's add some change in the notes, because all this will as well be recorded. So let's say that half of the note will get transposed and we'll go to major region. I don't change anything else, it's good. And now I'm still on that seed and I can record. And now, what do we have? I think we have two exact bars which are overlapping. Maybe one note which has changed. Yeah, it's not 100% perfect, or maybe this one is the first one is sometimes a bit off at the beginning, because the seed probably is synced to something. Yeah, let's say that this one is not the proper reference, and that will be this one. Still, they are almost the same. Okay, and now we have exactly the same. So this pattern is actually repeating. And we can check also as well that the velocities below are repeating as well. If I go to the modulation, same, again, copy the modulations. We can actually move modulations all this at the same time. Let's just, yeah, exactly the same. We cannot compare the. So here we go. So that's AutoPlay version 2.0. Of course, as usually, if you already have AutoPlay, just head to your Gumroad library. So the URL, I'll give that on the bottom, and just download this update, and it's free, of course. So hope you enjoyed this new feature, and hope that you won't be again say, ouch, I just lost a great groove and I can't get back to it anymore. That's too bad. So with AutoPlay, you hopefully won't have that again. Thank you for your attention and take care. Bye.